Hi everyone, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp with a Geometric Hearts Mother's Day card for this month's Making the Cut. Making the Cut is my series here on Simon Says Stamp where we talk about all things die cutting. Today we are going to start by building a beautiful background that is really going to set off the geometric hearts that we're using today. Now I am turning this into a Mother's Day card, but this could very easily be birthday, sympathy, thinking of you, friendship, almost anything that you can think of this card would work for. I absolutely love the new bold geometric stencil. And so I am going to start by taking 4 colors of Pawsitively saturated ink. We're going to start with Carnation, move to Watermelon, and then use Cantaloupe and Sunbeam. And it's going to be a very bright, happy, springy type of background here. I'm doing all of my inking on the Simon Says Stamp magnetic glass mat. You can see I'm just using one of my magnets from my Misty to help hold my stencil and paper in place while I'm doing my ink blending. And I'm also keeping that ink kind of more towards the center of the design. The ink is still going to basically go out towards the edge, but it will be a little bit lighter, which is the look I'm going for. Oh, that's so pretty. Next, I'm going to take the foam insert out of my Misty, and we're going to place inside our stenciled panel. And then we're going to take the thank you text stamp from Simon Says Stamp and place that right in here. I thought the thank you was the perfect accent for this card. I'm going to ink up my stamp with watermelon ink, and I have a scrap piece of paper there, just another 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel that I can use. And I've done the first generation on that. And I did that so that I could use that on another card. And then I stamped my stenciled background with the second generation stamping, which is a nice light text all over the stenciling. This is one of my go-to favorite looks for card making. Next, I'm taking the brand new Fancy Mom and Shadow, and I have die cut the Mom sentiment from gray cardstock, and I'm placing it on the shadow, which is die cut from white. The Simon Says Stamp tweezers are super helpful for holding on to delicate die cuts while you are gluing them and adding all of that great adhesive there to put them together. I'm also going to use my tweezers plus the piercing tool or the pickup tool to help me assemble the geometric builder's hearts. I thought that the hearts would be the perfect addition for this card. I think hearts are a good idea anytime, and I took several sheets of cardstock in the same colors that I used to build the background. So I just looked through my stash and found some colors. I believe all of these are from Concord and Ninth. And I am going to die cut all of them. You can see them all here on the screen. And then I'm going to assemble. And I love this for customizing your card to perfectly match the theme or the occasion that you're needing a design for. I will be left with quite a few additional pieces that I'm going to hold on to and just create some extra hearts to use on other projects. My card today is going to have 3 of the big hearts, 2 of the I guess I'll call them medium hearts, and then a scattering of the smaller hearts. I'm using liquid adhesive to pick up all of the pieces and put them together. Now I did find with the stripe heart, which is probably one of my favorites, starting at the bottom is the easiest. What I particularly love about the Geometric Builder's hearts is that there is a solid heart base, which makes it very easy to build upon for any of the different designs. The new tools from Simon Says Stamp make picking up and placing your different elements so easy. I've even used my tweezers there, you can see, to kind of clamp and hold that particular heart in place. I needed to re-glue the tip of that heart, and that just holds everything down super nice. I'm going to continue to assemble the hearts until I have them exactly the way I want. And I am laying them out on my background as I am assembling to give me a really good idea of how it's going to look. I kind of dropped this one. Let's grab our tweezers. There we go. And actually the other small heart, or medium heart, I guess is what I was calling it, is from the inside of the radiating heart. I want to pop everything up off the background so that it gives it some nice dimension, and it kind of helps elevate it from the beautiful geometric background with that text. So we're going to grab some of my favorite Simon Says Stamp foam adhesive squares and start assembling. Starting down at the bottom, we're going to adhere one of the large hearts. And I want to make sure that spatially I leave enough room down below my sentiment for a couple of hearts. I want my sentiment to be just below that center line on the card. So I'm not exactly measuring it, but you can kind of visualize the center line in the card, and I want my sentiment to drop just down below that, but I also want to give enough room for the hearts down there. I also want to leave enough room because I do want to add a little stamped sentiment strip. Let's put some foam adhesive back behind our greeting now. I love this beautiful greeting. There's a couple of new ones this year from Simon Says Stamp that would be beautiful. Both kind of about the same size, just a little bit different script or style there. But I think either one would be fantastic for this. And then we're going to slightly tuck our heart kind of under the edge of that mom greeting before we finish assembling. Now, any of the teeny tiny hearts are going to be adhered directly to the background. I don't want to try to get foam to fit underneath. Probably the bigger of the two small hearts, you could get a small foam square under it, but that teeny tiny one is just too small. It is looking so pretty. I love how this looks. And kind of fun idea for a Mother's Day card if maybe you don't want to do florals. I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I think hearts are always a good idea for all kinds of cards, which I do. And I always like to try to find different ways to use them and create really fun card designs. So they're definitely a design element here. Now I want to start filling in the small areas. You will see that the hearts naturally have a diagonal type of presentation from that upper left corner to the bottom right on my card, leaving the upper right and bottom left kind of free of embellishment. But we want to fill in and add some additional interesting details. So kind of some unexpected placement, but still staying within that same basic diagonal design. So there will be a couple of hearts that are out here a little ways. And then to finish off our card, we will be adding some little embellishments in some pearls from either Pretty Pink Posh or Trinity Stamps. Just depending on color. I very much am just influenced by color, so I picked colors of pearls that were going to match my design here. You'll notice some of the hearts, or pardon me, some of the pearls will be added to the hearts and some will be scattered right on the background. Let's go ahead and add our sentiment first. I forgot. This is the Sassy Mama stamp set, and I am stamping Happy Mother's Day from this using charcoal Pawsitively saturated ink. Then we will die cut our greeting with a sentiment label die. This Sassy Mama stamp set is fantastic. You could even stamp one of the larger greetings from this and die cut it with the coordinating die and add it to your card if you wanted to. There's some really funny sentiments in here as well. Thus why it's called Sassy Mama, but I'm just using that kind of traditional Happy Mother's Day. I love the font and the size of this. I always run my sentiment label through, lining it up with one end of the greeting, flip it around, and just barely run it through to cut that other end. And then you have a perfectly die cut sentiment strip. I do want to pop this up with a little foam right underneath, and I matched it to the mom sentiment. So because I used a dark gray for the mom, which I felt like coordinated much nicer with the colors in the background of my card than, let's say, a black cardstock would. Gray is always a great idea if you want to soften the effect but still have a bold greeting. So I went with that charcoal ink so that it would kind of complement the design. Now I've got my pearls in my favorite triangle trays from Simon Says Stamp. They are great to house and hold your embellishments while you're working, and then they funnel right back in to the storage containers. I'm going to put a little candy apple heart in the center of the mom right there, and then I'm going to start adding my pearls. And here you can see that the little pick and pierce tool or even the little pickup tool are going to be fantastic for adding all of our little pearls to our card design. The colors I've chosen today are Pink Blush, Creamsicle, and Lemon Drop from Pretty Pink Posh, and then some Coral Reef from Trinity Stamps. A dark deep red I didn't feel like was the right color. We used watermelon ink on the background, and so I tried to pick something that worked a little bit better in that shade or color family. You could use sequins or gems, whatever you have on hand. I always just love a little bit of embellishment here. The pearls are great for a feminine type of finish, I feel like. And we're just going to fill in all of the little nooks and crannies. So a really fun Mother's Day idea. I hope this has inspired you to maybe try building a fun stencil and stamp layering background with beautiful layered die cuts on top. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this Mother's Day Geometric Hearts card. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube for your convenience. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at SimonSaysStamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.